media. We have known about Chintan Shivir, and today we are talking about the major takeaways from Chintan Shivir. Well, after 3 days of intense brainstorming, the 3 big messages that emerged from the Congress's Chintan Shivir are that it is still circumspect on its approach to engaging with the Hindu religion to counter the BJP's Hindutva push. Second, it seems to be preparing the ground for Rahul Gandhi's return at the helm. And third, its attempts to reach out to Dalits, Adivasis and minorities remain half-hearted. That the party's communication system is not a match for the BJP is an accepted fact. Its election management also leaves much to be desired. So decisions to spruce up its communications apparatus and set up a department for conducting regular survey to gauge the people's mood were the need of the hour for the grand old party. Now the party's decision to keep its doors open for alliances wherever necessary is also a pragmatic call. Notwithstanding what Rahul Gandhi feels about regional parties, he said regional parties could not fight the BJP as they neither have an ideology nor a centralized approach. Now, how to counter Hindutva? Well, the elephant in the room at the conclave was the question of how the party should engage with Hinduism to counter the BJP's Hindutva politics. For instance, many Congress leaders have argued over the years that the party should establish contact with the Arya Samaj, which is outside the influence of the RSS. Now that the party has to stand with the minority communities is accepted by everyone in the Congress. But the question of how to get religious Hindus back into its fold remains unresolved. Well, over the 3 days, several leaders, notably Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, argued that the party should not shy away from celebrating Hindu festivals, participating in religious cultural activities and establishing a connection with religious groups. The issue proved to be contentious as several delegates from South India opposed this. Those from North, where the party has been wiped out, said those from the other regions did not understand Hindi heartland politics. Well, after vigorous discussions, the Congress panel on political challenges which suggested that the party should establish contact and engage with all social and cultural groups, NGOs, trade unions, think tanks and civil society groups kept religion within square brackets. In the final declaration that was adopted, the Congress Working Committee omitted the word religion. Now, what were the organizational changes? The big push to bring in young leaders, which is meant by those under 50 years into the leadership roles at all organizational levels, is being seen by political observers and party insiders as a move to pave the way for Rahul Gandhi's return as Congress President in August. Well, the party was also not willing to give in to the demands of the G23 group of dissident leaders, particularly on reviving the parliamentary board mechanism. Well, in a signal to them and to palisade veteran leaders who might find themselves out of the CWC because of the entry of youth leaders, Sonia Gandhi announced an advisory group. But she underlined that the group was not a collective decision-making body, a clear signal to the G23 leaders who have been pushing for collective decision-making as one of the reform measures. Sonia Gandhi will handpick the group's members and she can disband it whenever she wishes. Now here let's go and move on to the Dalit minority outreach. Thirdly, the party wants to reach out to scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, other backward class, communities and minorities, but could not decide on the representation quota in the organization. At present, the party constitution says not less than 20% of the seats shall be reserved at different committees for the SC, STs, OBCs and minorities. Well, the push was to increase it to 50%, but that did not happen. The attempt to reach out to tribals, Dalits, and OBCs is seen as an antidote to Hindutva. Signaling that it will reach out to these sections, the party decided to set up a social justice advisory council to aid and advise the Congress president on issues related to SCs, STs, OBCs, minorities, and women. Demand proportional representation for women from these sections in the Women's Reservation Bill, in other words, quota within quota, and run a leadership development mission for these sections. Well, this was all about Chintan Shivir and what we have to take away from Chintan Shivir. Well, stay with us. We shall bring you more such interesting topics to talk upon. This is Aparna Sundar reporting for iScope Media.